Happy New Year, everyone, and welcome back to the Level Up podcast. Today, I have a very special friend of mine, a very special guest, and today we're actually talking about something a bit different than what we used to talk about previously. Med Amin, welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Likewise. And we've been trying to organize this for a while now, but
Yeah.
Finally.
Seriously.
So today we're gonna delve into a world that is related to fitness, right? And actually, come to think of it, there is a lot of talk about balancing nutrition and training, and some people say, or articles actually out there also say, that nutrition takes from 50 to 80% of your weight loss journey or your transformation journey. So decided today that I wanted to talk more about nutrition. Meds, before we delve into Super Meals, which is your baby company, which is turned 10 actually a couple of months ago.
A month ago.
That's nice. Congrats, man.
Thanks, man.
Want to start actually first with your journey before starting Super Meals, and we can talk a bit more about the nutrition aspect of it.
How long do we have?
Take your time, my friend.
I started in marketing and advertising, actually. And I did marketing and advertising for 20 years of my life almost. And then I went through a lot of ups and downs in my life like everyone else. But my last couple of years of corporate life, I had a very big personal issue that happened to me that was not really ideal. So I went through proper depression because of this. And that depression caused me to eat like there's no tomorrow. I was just eating everything on site, and it was just absolutely terrible. I gained so much weight the last 2 years of my corporate life that I reached actually to 156 kilograms.
Wow, okay.
That's, for the Americans that use pounds, that's 310 pounds almost. That's a lot. And I was very heavy. I was very tired all the time. I was lethargic. I hated my life basically. And I had my 3-year-old daughter back then would come to me and try to play with me, and I couldn't. I really couldn't play with her. I couldn't run with her. I couldn't do anything with her. I was always tired all the time. And I wanted to change that because I was always an athlete back in my day. I used to play basketball for my school. I used to do a lot of sports. And then I looked at myself in the mirror one day and I was like, who are you? And what is this? Having a corporate life, sitting behind a desk all the time, and
binge eating all the time also.
Binge eat because especially if you're in a corporate life for 20 years or so, then you probably went up the corporate ladder. So you've got a lot of responsibilities on your plate. So you literally have lunch on your desk as well. You don't even have time to go out for lunch. So I started doing what I thought was the right way of doing things, what our parents taught us back in the day, in the 80s and the 70s and the 90s. What people used to do to lose weight is just not eat, pretty much, or have a very small sandwich in the morning, like chicken and rice for lunch, and maybe a yogurt and an apple for dinner. And that didn't work for me. That worked for me for like the first month. I lost a bit of weight, which was pretty much, now what I understand, is water retention. And I sustained that, and I couldn't lose any more weight. I tried to run. I tried to go back to playing basketball. I tried to do a whole bunch of things. It just didn't work. Until I met this person who literally changed my life. This guy, I was running around in a park one day, and this guy tapped me on my shoulder, and he said, "Hey, I've been seeing you trying to run, and you're obviously trying really hard. Talk to me about your food." And we sat down on the bench for 3 hours that day, talking about food. I didn't know anything he was talking about. I'm a marketing guy, and I'm advertising. I didn't know anything that he was talking about, macros and calories, and I have to weigh my food before and after cooking. And it was like a whole bunch of science that I didn't understand. Eventually, what I did was I was mesmerized by what he was saying, and I knew how to cook because I used to help my mom out in the kitchen a lot when I was younger. So I already liked the kitchen. So the guy literally told me he's going to send me a meal plan of what to cook and how much I should weigh it, and I should go and buy a food scale and whatnot. I did that, and the first month I lost weight. The second month I lost more weight. By the third month, I had already lost 3 months down, I already lost about 12 kilograms in 3 months, or 13 kilograms in 3 months. So my friends and people at work started
noticing.
Exactly. They're like, what are you doing? Did you get surgery done and whatnot? And I'm like, no, this is what I do and this is how I eat. So a friend of mine literally walked up to me one day and he said, hey man, here's 3,000 dirhams. Literally, this is exactly what happened. Here's 3,000 dirhams. Can you cook for me what you cook for yourself? Maybe I can do the same thing. Back then, there weren't any meal planning companies. There were diet companies or healthy companies, and there were only 3 in the country. And I tried all 3 of them, and I hated my life. Honestly, it's just without naming names, but it was just not great.
In terms of like the quality of the food or the taste,
Taste was off completely. It felt like hospital food all the time. There was no flavor in the food. There was absolutely no flavor in the food. And that to me is a big thing. Not really big on eating hospital food. So what Marcus did, the guy that I met, what he did was introduce me to flavorful but healthy food. When my friend gave me the 3,000 dirhams, he said, can you do the same thing? I was like, yes, I can. Obviously, I'll just go buy the same groceries that I buy, but I'll give you the same amount of food. But it doesn't make sense because your body is completely different from mine. Your life is completely different from mine. So it doesn't make sense. So I reached out to Marcus and I said, hey man, a friend of mine wants to do the same thing. What do I do? He's like, yeah, give me his stats. And that's when a light bulb just hit me. I'm like, that's pretty awesome, man. Everyone is different, right? Everyone is completely different from the other. So there's that needs to be involved. It cannot be one size fits all like the other companies have been doing. Here's 1,400 calories, go. You know what I mean? And that's what happened. I got my friend's stats. I gave them to Marcus. Marcus gave me his weights. I started cooking his weights. Marcus started losing weight. My friend Shadi started losing weight. And then when Shadi lost the weight, his friends reached out to me and they're like, hey man, can we do the same thing?
Okay.
So literally 7 months down the line, I was cooking for me and 8 other people. I would finish work at 5 because I had a semi-government job back then. My last corporate job was a semi-government job. So I would finish by 5, go home, buy the groceries, cook until 12 midnight, go deliver the food to all these 8 people, and then come back home and do it all over again every single day. And it was awesome. It was an awesome feeling because I actually really, really enjoyed it. And that's when I thought to myself, you know what? This is actually a business model.
So what did you enjoy about it before you continue? So did you enjoy the hustle of going out there, buying the groceries, cooking, delivering, and all of that? Or did you enjoy also the fact that you're seeing people's lives change? What touched you?
Look, both of those things, because the first thing is the fact that I had something that took my time and consumed my time in a very good way after work hours was extremely important. Remember, I told you I was going through a really rough time and depression and all that stuff. So I really wanted something
to keep yourself busy with something. Okay.
But it was also keeping myself busy in a very good way. That's one. Number 2, the fact that people were enjoying my food. I'm not a chef. I'm not a certified chef back then. I'm not someone who went to school for this, but I was just doing that out of a hobby, and I sort of did what I thought was right.
Yeah.
You know. And then exactly that's what happened. You know. So people were enjoying my food. They were telling me, "Oh, dude, your food is pretty awesome, actually." And then they were losing the weight. They were seeing results. They were telling their friends. I was like, this is about a business model. This is what a meal plan should be, or a healthy plan should be. And that's when I decided I want to up and quit. It was a very, very risky decision, to be honest with you, because I have
20 years of experience in corporate.
Exactly. My daughter depended on me. I was going through a rough divorce. My daughter doesn't live with me, but she depends on me. I needed to make sure that I provide for her. So I put a little money on the side for her, just for emergency. And I said to myself, all right, I'm going to go study this properly. do a culinary degree actually, and a fitness nutrition degree, and see how that takes me. Because I've always, like, the dream growing up in the 80s and the 90s, our dream was pretty much, hey, I want to open a restaurant one day.
Okay.
You know, everyone had that dream.
Yeah.
But this was one step better than opening a restaurant. This was opening a restaurant and helping people, or opening a food business and helping people feel better, helping people get better about themselves. And I thought, this is awesome. This is what I want to do. And I did that. And I went to my boss back then and I said, hey boss, I'm going to quit my job. And he was like, oh, what? You've been here for 2 years. What are you quitting your job for? And I was like, yeah, this is what I'm doing. I'm quitting my job, and this is the plan. And he's like, you're crazy. 6 months down the line, your job is still here if you want it. I was like, that's really generous of you. Thank you very much. But hopefully I won't need it. And it was a really rough time because I had to do this while making money on the side. So I had to go travel and come back and stay here and cook for people unofficially, under no license. And I'm saying this up front because it was a very dangerous thing
That
to
was
do.
more than 10 years ago, so it's okay. I guess.
It was exactly. So unofficially, Super Meals started 2013. And officially, Super Meals started 2014 as per my trade license. But like during that period of time, I would cook, I would study, I would deliver, I would market, I would invoice, I did everything. I was a one-man show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
Yeah, seriously.
Nice. And so you thought, or you sought getting a degree in culinary business, or in cooking, or in becoming a chef. Can you tell us a bit more about this?
Yeah, so I did 2 courses actually in culinary. It was culinary management, because the F&B business is actually a monster, and people think it's really easy to get into the F&B business when it's actually one of the worst businesses you could ever get into.
Okay.
Because there's so many things that go. It's called back of the house in the F&B business, and the back of the house is basically where everything is. You see the front of the house, you see the beautiful things, you see the photography, you see the food, you taste the food, you see the service, all of that stuff, the branding, all of that's front of the house. The back of the house is that's a different story altogether, and that's the business end of it. My marketing and advertising world and my business degrees sort of helped me out a lot in the back of the house. But the animal that is food and beverage business is crazy. It's absolutely crazy, because the F&B business has so many different degrees behind it that you need to be very careful about, especially cash flow. Cash flow is king when it comes to F&B. So I had to do a course in culinary management.
Okay.
And then I also had to do an introductory course to just culinary, understand how to cook, what is the right thing to do and what is the wrong thing to do. So I did that. I did it in a school called Cordon Bleu, which was awesome. Actually, as a matter of fact, it's one of the best in the world. And then I did a nutrition degree. A fitness nutrition degree, and this was a remote studying. I did it with the University of Florida, and that was for 2.5 years. So I'm a certified. So I can be a certified nutritionist and a certified chef.
Okay, that's awesome. Awesome. Perfect. So unofficially, you started Super Meals around 2013. This is where you were helping friends and friends of friends. So that's a referral system in the marketing world. You decided to quit your job and focus on this full time. You got the licenses, the degrees, the certificates, and everything, and you started with the actual brand. Can you go through the story of, since you're a marketing guy, right? The story of creating the brand Super Meals. How did you go about deciding on the name, the logo, the artwork, the colors? Tell me a bit more about that journey.
That was an interesting journey because I didn't have a brand in mind, like a brand name or a brand identity in mind at all. What I did was I actually started the brand, or started the company, and then unofficially, and then I started looking at names of what do I call this. Like I said, there were already some companies out there, and they were very obvious, to be honest with you. Like they were, I'm not going to say the names, but they were very obvious in their names of what they do.
Yeah.
And I don't like that personally. From a marketing and advertising background, I don't like very obvious names. You know, like like dentures for dental clinic. You know, you know what I mean. I don't like that.
Yeah.
So I wanted to do something that's a little awesome. It sounds nice. Had a nice ring to it, and I did a little test with my friends. I threw some names out to my friends on a WhatsApp group, and they came back with horrible names, to be honest with it. Sorry, my friends. But then one came out as really cool, which was I don't remember what it was. It was something meals, and then another one was super something. So I thought, hey, super meals. You know what I mean? Because Superman, you know what I mean? And super meals makes you feel like that. The word super and meals makes you feel like these are the best meals you could ever have.
Yes.
So that's the marketing ideology behind it. That's the brand identity behind it. Or the ethos of the brand behind it. So super makes you feel like you're super. No, you're powerful. You're super. And meals, if you combine that with this, automatically in your head, in your subconscious, you're thinking to yourself, these meals are actually super for me.
Quite
they're good for me. They're the best quality. They're the best this. They're the best that. And that is literally what I'm trying to do. Can I just diverge a little bit?
Yeah, of course.
And tell you something about super meals that I insist on. We are a meal planning company. Okay, so Super Meals is a meal planning company. We do macros and we do calorie counting and all of that stuff, and we do customizations. And I'm sure you're gonna ask me about that. But my aim for Super Meals has always been, since inception, since day one, is clean eating rather than just calorie focus. It's not just about here's 1,400 calories or 1,600 calories or whatever it may be. Here, it's not about here's 100 grams of protein and 400 grams of carbs or whatever it may be. It's actually about clean eating. And because it's clean eating and because it's super meals, I am very adamant about the quality of products that I use.
Your ingredients of what you're sourcing. And
oh my God, I'm so adamant about this. And people come up to me and tell me, how much is your plan? And I give them a price, and they were like, "Oh man, this is too expensive." I'm like, you want to go and eat McDonald's? You can go and eat McDonald's. You know what I mean? But I'm not the McDonald's of meal plans. I'm actually a 5-star restaurant of meal plans. Okay, and I want to stay that, because you are what you eat, right? And if you eat like crap, then you feel like crap. And it's not about the money. It's not about how much money you spend on your food. It's what you feed your body to have that energy, to have that health, to have the life that you want prolonged. So yeah.
So definitely you don't have any processed food. You don't have any.
No. Absolutely.
Never.
Oh no. So listen, we use fresh ingredients all the time. So we use organic vegetables when we can, and actually we do all the time. We use fresh chicken. We don't use frozen chicken. We use Australian beef. We don't use Brazilian beef or Indian buffalo. We use Norwegian salmon. We don't use just any salmon from a freezer or from a farm, even for that matter. It's fresh salmon. We use local fish. We don't use fish that has been imported from God knows how long and it's been in the freezers for how long. These are all very important things for you to understand. We don't use sugar. We use sugar replacements like agave or whatnot. So it's extremely important that what you eat with Super Meals actually makes you feel like you are super.
All right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. And speaking of this, I think that's something you got to learn through the culinary management, or of course through practice. Is okay, so you're sourcing that amount of food, but you're getting all the orders everywhere. So how do you make sure that it stays fresh and it stays like with minimal storage or with minimal like?
We don't keep anything in our freezers.
Okay.
Literally. So we have nothing in our freezers.
You acquire the ingredients?
We buy the ingredients the morning we're cooking.
Okay.
So we literally buy fresh ingredients.
No storages, nothing.
We don't store it because
no waste.
Well, yeah, no waste, exactly. But that's the main thing here is the quality of the ingredient you're eating. And if the quality of the ingredient you're eating is top, and it's bought right now and it's bought fresh, it's the same thing as when you cook at home, right?
Yeah.
When you cook a 3-day-old steak that's been in the freezer, it tastes completely different from a steak that you just bought from the butcher that just cut in front of you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's completely different altogether.
That's good. And speaking of this, because I feel there's a lot of talk and a lot of direction also on sustainability, especially when it comes to food waste. So to me, this is something that you already got sorted.
A long time ago, actually.
Okay.
I got that sorted a long time ago. Sustainability is actually a very big part of Super Meals, and that's why, for instance, we use bamboo recyclable containers. We don't use plastic, anything, and that's very important for us. And we were one of the first people to actually use the bamboo containers. We make sure that we don't provide, like, a lot of our clients actually ask us, why don't you give us plastic cutlery? Dude, we don't give plastic cutlery. We're trying to minimize plastic usage. We changed our even our bag, by the way.
Yeah.
Our bags right now, our green bags contain no plastic. It's quite important that these are sustainable as well. So everything that we try to do is sustainable, from the food all the way to the end product, which is the bag.
Nice, awesome. And so you took the risk. You decided to start Super Meals. You got the license and everything. You decided on the brand. How did you start growing your business, or how easy of a journey was it to start your business and grow and become where you are right now?
It wasn't easy. It wasn't easy. And anyone who tells you that, people have this conception that starting an F&B business specifically is actually
is always a successful business.
That's number one. Number two, they think it's easy. I'll just do it on the side of another job. And I know so many people who started an F&B business like that. And so many people who started an F&B business on the side of their job, and 6 months down the line or a year down the line, they had to shut it down. The food and beverage industry is, like I said earlier, a monster, and it will eat you up if you're not always focused and on your feet. And that's one thing my family currently, for instance, my wife and my kid hate about me, is that I'm always working, because you always have to work in the F&B business. The last time I actually I took a vacation was 10 years ago, literally. Yeah. Okay. I'm not kidding. Okay. And my wife hates that right now. But it hasn't been an easy journey at all. From the very start, I was met with a lot of success, because I was literally the first official meal plan, who counted macros, who counted calories, the official meal plan in the country. So some of the competition that has been there already sort of reached out and started checking out what I do and how I do it, and actually met with me and all of that stuff.
Did you get any offers?
Yeah,
like,
I actually got an offer from someone to buy me out.
Okay.
The first year I was in the business, because the first year was insane. Oh my God, the first year was my favorite year ever. Yeah. Because the first year I launched, I was so lucky, actually. Mina, you don't understand. I was so lucky the first year I launched, I was involved with an athlete, a very, very popular athlete in the country back then, who's not with us right now, so I can't really name who that person is. And they took me to another level altogether, because as soon as they posted their first post saying, oh my God, this is what a meal plan is. I still have that post, by the way. I still have it saved on my phone. This is what a meal plan is. I can't believe I finally found someone that actually can cater to athletes and what athletes are and what they need. And this is great. The first post that this person posted, I had 400 clients.
Wow.
400 clients interested. The first post, just one post. Okay. And that was insane, because everyone was hungry for something like this. Everyone was sick and tired of what was in the market back then. So I had insane success the first year. Insane. It was just, you don't hear that, by the way. Yeah. You don't hear that at all. But then slowly and gradually, it was very difficult for me to do it all by myself.
Of course. How were you actually serving? So just taking a step back. So 400 leads?
400 leads.
400 leads.
400 leads.
And everyone is asking, and probably you were able to convert a good number of them to clients.
I was able to convert, but then again, you have to remember, I was all by myself.
All by yourself.
Exactly.
So,
I was cooking, I was delivering, I was packaging, I was financing, I was the whole lot. Okay, I was all by myself, literally from the kitchen of my house.
That's crazy.
This is for the first 5-6 months. So 5-6 months of officially having Super Meals was insane. It was just insane. And then
it did give you the drive. It did give you the drive to understand to realize that you did the right thing.
Listen, until this day, 10 years down the line, if I get a call from a client saying the food is awesome or I've lost this much weight or whatever it is, I get a different high altogether from any accolades that I ever got from my marketing and advertising days. I worked with some of the best agencies in the world. Okay, literally the best, the top 4 agencies in the world, I've worked with them. And I got some amazing accolades with them, and I had an amazing time with these agencies. But the high that I get today until now, 10 years down the line, from a single client who calls me up and says the food is amazing, or the service is amazing, or I've lost this much weight, or my health is so much better, there's nothing like it.
Nice.
There's nothing like it, man.
Super. So you had some crazy days at the beginning, a lot of interest, and you were on your own. Did you make any moves around
Yeah,
this?
absolutely. So I reached out to some kitchens.
Okay.
And I said, hey man, I want a kitchen.
Right. And back then I don't imagine cloud kitchen was a thing.
No, it wasn't a thing. No one knew what a cloud kitchen was.
Okay.
Not at all. So I reached out to some kitchens and I said, I need help, man. I need help. I need people. And a few people reached out, and I actually reached out to someone, a very good friend of mine, who had a kitchen. And I started working from their kitchen, and he hired someone for me.
Okay.
So I could grow my business. And then lo and behold, that person became 2 people. The person that was helping me out became 2 people. The 2 people became 4. Today we have over 10 people helping out and doing Super Meals. I love everyone from that team. And that is a journey that I hold very dear to my heart. As a matter of fact, we're looking at expansions. We're looking at getting new kitchens, going to new countries. So yeah,
super. And going back to the idea of meal prepping. So like you said, I think it's really important for athletes, and we're gonna touch on this because I believe you do have some success stories as well with helping athletes reach particular goals. One common friend who actually introduced us to each other won a bodybuilding competition, and you were helping him with his nutrition and meals and all the different macros and everything around those lines. But for a regular person, right? Someone like myself right now, I'm not a professional athlete. I'm someone who's keen to eat right and to look better and to lose some weight and to gain some muscle. So how do you go about dealing with your clients and preparing the nutrition facts for them? Look, especially when they get to grow? Your friend who you met years ago, he told you, okay, get me their stats, and accordingly you were able to identify what they need. How do you do that now?
Okay, so 10 years down the line, you kind of have a system.
Okay.
And the system is very simple. If you have 2 kinds of people who already know what they want, and people who just want to eat healthy.
Okay.
Literally. People who already know what they want are the customized people, really. So they know exactly how many grams of protein, how many grams of carbs, how many grams of fat they need to eat per meal, and where they need to reach. Predominantly, these are the athletes. And the athletes, I mean, there's a plethora of them, right? So there's athletes who are bodybuilders, like our common friend. Hello. And they are crazy because they know what they need to eat by the gram.
Yes.
It's not, you can't really go, oh yeah, that's there's a buffer of 10%. You can't do that. No.
200 grams is 200 grams.
Oh no, it's not even that. It's like 193 point whatever. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's that crazy. And these people, we have to customize their plans for them, and we have to be very careful for them. And I look at it. I look after that myself and another person in the office. And then there are other athletes who are just generic athletes. So we have football players for playing for clubs in the UAE. We have a basketball team that also is a UAE basketball team that's with us. So each one is a little different altogether, but the predominant number of people is the ones that want to eat just healthy.
Just eat clean.
Yeah.
Yep.
So what we do is we have a consultation series of questions. They answer all these questions out in terms of your age, your weight, your height, your lifestyle, your blood type. And blood type is very important, by the way. Your blood type, your water intake, your sleep pattern, a whole bunch of things that we get really deep into. So we can actually advise you and come back to you and say, all right, you know what, Mina, for someone like you, with your lifestyle, with your body type, with your activity level, with your sleep patterns, and et cetera, you need to eat X amount of calories. This X amount of calories is, let's say, if you just want it specific, we can do that. That's customized. If you want it within a bracket, then we do that as well. A lot of people they opt for the bracket one because that's just a generic plan, and it has very minimal customizations. When I say minimal customizations, as in you can actually tell me your intolerances, your allergies, your dislikes, whatever, and we can take that out for you. That's the minimal customization. You don't eat bell peppers? Okay, no problem. We'll remove bell peppers from your plan. But if you want it to be more specific and more customized to you because you need to reach a certain goal by a certain period of time, then we talk a completely different game. So we've had athletes who do that. We've had brides to be to do that. We had grooms to be do that. We had people who are just attending a wedding somewhere in the summer and they have only 6 months or 4 months or sometimes a month and a half to do that. We have people who had gastric sleeve surgery who want to be specifically have a specific diet for them. So we do that as well. So there's so many different customizations that we do. And the generic one as well has, like I said, minimal customizations.
Nice. And that's interesting. So off topic, because it's not in my sheet, right? These days, or I wouldn't say these days, it's been now out for like a few years. You got trends when it comes to nutrition, right? So you got people talking about keto, people talking about going vegan or going vegetarian, or what's it called? Cutting.
Which one? There's so many. Paleo. There's so many. There's so many.
Intermittent fasting.
Yeah.
So do you, I wouldn't say follow a philosophy, but do you prefer one of those philosophies over the other?
Are you talking to me as Med or are you talking to me as Super Meals?
As Med.
As Med, I don't really follow any of these because I think predominantly all of them are fads except for one.
Okay.
The intermittent fasting. I actually believe in intermittent fasting because intermittent fasting actually works really well for you. It's been proven even by religion. Islam fasts for about 16 hours a day. So people actually, when they do the fast and they eat little and they eat enough for their body, just whatever, they lose weight by the end of the month. So it actually works. Keto and paleo and whatever, no.
Okay.
Not for me, okay? Because unless you are, for instance, let's take keto, for example. Unless you are on keto for a very long period of time, and I do mean a long period of time, years of being in ketosis, then your body will, yes, react like this. If you go on a keto diet, once you're off of it, because you're going to get bored of just eating fat and zero carbs and a bunch of proteins or whatnot, once you get bored of that, you gain the weight faster than you did regularly.
True.
And I've seen it with so many of my friends. I have a friend of mine who did keto for a year. He was so happy, man. You don't understand. Like, he lost 20 something kilos.
Yeah.
He was so happy. He stopped keto. Boom, 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 boom. He gained them back.
And you know, the funny fact is, I have a friend of mine who had exactly the same story. Lost a ton of weight. He looked amazing. Stopped keto. Gained his weight back. Started keto again, nothing happened.
Of course, because your liver won't accept that again. Your liver, you have to understand your body functions, and you have to understand it's not just, hey, I'm just going to reduce my food. I'm going to eat keto. I'm going to eat paleo. I'm going to eat this. I'm going to eat that. I'm going to lose the weight. Your body changes as you age, and your metabolism changes. And there are ways to speed up your metabolism as you proceed with your age. But in general, clean eating, like I said at the very beginning, is the key.
Okay.
Clean eating that is enough for you, portion controlled for you. That's the name of the game. Nice. So that's a school of thought that I follow. It's clean food with the right portion control.
Awesome. And this same philosophy applies on Super Meals.
Yes, absolutely.
So I do know that you have
if
options.
Someone comes
for
up to me and says, I need a vegan, yeah, I have a vegan
You
plan.
have the options.
Yeah, I have a vegan plan. That's sure. You want vegetarian? Sure. Vegetarian is just vegan with eggs, by the way.
Yeah.
So sure, you can have a vegan plan. You can have a vegetarian plan. You can have a pescatarian plan, which is they only eat fish. And vegetables. I had someone who came up to me and he actually asked me for an eggetarian plan. They only eat eggs. I've never heard of it in my life before.
Okay.
Sure, man. We'll do it for you. You know what I mean?
Interesting.
We'll advise people. And if I get people that tell me, do you do keto? I strictly don't do keto.
Okay.
At Super Meals, we don't do keto. We strictly don't believe in keto at Super Meals. And there's a reason for that, but that's a different story altogether. But if someone comes up to me and says, do you do keto? I'll be like, no, we do not do keto per se. But what we do is we have a high protein, high fat, low carb option that you can take, which kind of sort of replicates what keto does, except for that's low carbs, not zero carbs. We don't do paleo. We do pescatarian, we do vegetarian, we do vegan, we do a whole bunch of other things. But the regulars, you know, I mean, if you're vegan, you're vegan. There's nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean? Us as Arabs, by the way, and predominantly most of the Arab countries, by the way, are historically vegan. If you think about it. Egypt, we eat ful, tamaya. We eat a lot of beans. We eat a lot of all of these stews that are based on fasolia and bamia and whatever. They're vegan.
Yep.
We just introduced a little chunks of meat into it. But technically we are vegan. Lebanon and Syria and them, vegan. Predominantly the menu over there is actually vegan.
Interesting. Lovely. And back to you coming from a corporate marketing background, working in one of the top agencies or the top agency worldwide. How did you start implementing marketing strategies in your brand, in Super Meals? So, because when you told the story, it started first with referrals, and that was the key to realizing, okay, I want to continue doing this full time. And then you had someone, an athlete, post, I believe it was on social media, right? On
Correct.
Instagram?
Yes.
Which also brought in leads. When you came to think about the marketing plan for Super Meals, how did you go about it, and what was your thought process?
Dude, boss. Marketing to me is like drinking water. So I sort of, like, after 20 years of doing this, and my studies were, like, originally I studied marketing and advertising, so it's sort of like drinking water for me. You know what I mean? So I sort of got it by default.
Yeah.
Like, I knew what to do and when to do and how to do it by default. I worked, alhamdulillah, I'm very blessed, because I actually worked in, like you said, in some of the top agencies in the world, and I worked on some of the top brands in the world. Literally top brands of the world. And I love marketing and I love advertising. So it comes naturally to me that I know what to do in here and when to market this and what image to use and all of that stuff. So that's what I started doing is for Super Meals, is I started developing a brand strategy for the brand and where I wanted the brand to be from day one to now. If you realize, we just changed the logo recently.
Yeah.
And that's what was also part of the brand strategy. And we're doing something else now after the 10th anniversary. We're doing something else as well to just sort of develop the brand even further and have that international feel. Because again, I want to take it international.
Nice. But did you ever think going over the top or billboards or?
No.
All right.
No, listen, today's marketing world is completely different from my days. My days was all TV, print, outdoor, and radio.
Yeah.
Those are the four heroes of media. Today, the hero of media is social media and online. And not like the digital presence back in the day. It was also advertising on this website. You know what I mean? Today is completely different. It's generating leads rather than is understanding how to generate leads rather than just having eyeballs see your ad.
True.
It's no longer frequency versus reach. It's just reach versus ROI. And that's quite important because generating these leads is what gets me business. And in order for me to generate leads, I have to be where the conversation has to be almost instant. You understand what I'm saying? So social media is almost 100% of my advertising budget. I'm diversifying a little bit now into some other media forms that might actually get me a little bit of frequency just to keep on hearing Super Meals.
Yeah.
But predominantly my budget is for social media.
Nice.
I need to start that conversation as soon as I possibly can with a customer.
Nice. Cool. And actually, the thing is, looking back at how advertisement and ad buying and the way social media works right now is quite crazy. Like even Meta, every I think couple of months or something, they introduced some AI in the advertisement. So like even how you write the captions and how it's going to generate some additional captions and how you're putting your artwork and it's generating additional
AI is crazy.
It's mental.
AI is crazy. Like I actually feel like AI. Thank God I'm a chef because I don't think AI can actually cook. Yet. but AI is crazy. It's going to replace a whole bunch of jobs, man.
Yeah.
Listen, I like literally right now, I don't need a designer.
True.
I don't need anyone to design my ads for
me. And who introduced you to Midjourney? All right.
You did, actually.
True. Oh, it's amazing.
It's amazing.
I love
insane.
It. Yeah. Cool. Awesome. Back to health and fitness. So you've been working with athletes.
Yeah.
Do you provide is it something that you also work on? And I imagine the answer is yes, but I want you to touch also on it a bit. The consultation when it comes to he's an athlete, he's performing or he's competing for a sport or he wants to improve something or he wants to lose weight, shreds, build muscle, whatever the goal is. Do you provide the consultation also on what they need to eat?
Oh, absolutely. Specifically with athletes, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, listen, a lot of athletes have coaches, even if they are coaches.
Yeah.
So a lot of athletes who coach have coaches and their coaches have coaches and so on and so forth. The world of nutrition is, man, it's ever growing. Right? There's always something new in nutrition. There's always something new in the way I can build this specific muscle or that specific tone. You know what I mean? And so a lot of these coaches have similar ideology and similar way of thinking. And that's what I do. I talk to people, the athletes, and they come back to me and they know exactly what they want. They come back and they say, "Hey, man, listen, I want this much protein, this much carbs, this much fat, this much fiber. I wanna switch between this and that. I wanna do carb cycling. I wanna do this." They know exactly what they want.
Yeah.
If an athlete comes to me and he says, and this happened by the way, just last year I prepped this guy who was doing his very first bodybuilding competition, show competition, and he never done anything before. He had a coach who lived God knows where, not even in the country, and he wasn't even like getting in touch with him a lot. So he reached out to me. He's like, "Do you know what I need to do?" I was like, "Yes, I do. Here's what you need to do." And he actually placed third in that competition. It's his very first competition. It wasn't even here. It was an international competition as well. And he was very, very happy. I have a person who's been like, this person is a triathlete, and they're demanding, by the way.
Yeah.
And this person reached out to me and she said, I want to do this, and can you help me how to eat right while I'm training and before I actually before I compete and then after, because each period is completely different from the other. And I did, and she was so happy, dude. You don't understand. Like, she was so happy with her performance in her competition, the last competition. She was like, dude, I couldn't have done it without you. And that's the added value that we give at Super Meals for our clients. That we want to make you better. We want to make you healthier. And I tell a lot of my clients this. Listen, I will teach you how to eat. I will literally teach you how to eat. And 12 weeks later, you can do it on your own if you want. Guess what? My retention rate, alhamdulillah,
they come back.
Is through the roof.
Yeah.
And the reason why is this is something that I was taught in my business days. If you sell something to someone, they'll buy it once, twice, 3 times. But if you teach someone something, they'll come back to learn more. And that's what's happening. I have clients who have been with me for 6, 7, and 8 years consecutive. I have a client last week who sent me a message saying, Happy New Year. I can't believe I've been with you for 7 years.
Wow.
Dude, that's like, I'm married to this person.
That's insane. Yeah.
You know, like, we are at Super Meals, we're married to this person, you know, and that's beautiful. Honestly, that is absolutely beautiful. And I don't think anyone else can actually boast that kind of info.
Wow. That's impressive.
Alhamdulillah.
So you're doing great. The business is doing great. Let's talk about you. How's the day like for Med?
No, dude, don't even go there.
So you never took a vacation for the last 10 years?
No.
How's your day like?
I got remarried and I was working on our honeymoon. I'm not kidding. I swear to God. And it's crazy because I do a lot of things on the side as well. So I do a lot of menu consultation, and I do menu construction and engineering for some brands. And one of the brands that I do actually is a hotel in the Maldives. And my wife has a blast every time they invite me over, because she comes with me, fully paid holiday for her, and I work. I literally wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning, put on my chef clothes on and my apron, and then go to the kitchen from 6 to about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm working my ass off, and then my wife is on the beach somewhere enjoying herself. I go 4 o'clock. I try to get some sun. Sunsets over there at 5:30. I start doing the whole thing again, and then she spends 4 or 5 days just doing that. And I go back to the room at 5 or 6. I work on my Super Meal stuff from 6 to like 11 or midnight, and do the whole thing again. So my day, if I'm not doing that over here, I'm just literally, I wake up, I start working, and I don't know what time it is. And it's bad. I'm gonna admit this. It's very bad. It's very bad for me. It's very bad for my family as well, and my friends who don't see me. But I absolutely love it. I'm not gonna deny that. I love it. I really do. I really, you know that saying, love what you do so that you can do what you love.
Yeah.
I do. I really do. Like, I love what I do, and I do what I love. You know.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. That's life, by the way. Like, I know it's taken a toll on your I don't know. No, it's hard to just keep on grinding and keep on working. But
you're the same, man. You're also the same. Don't even go there. You're a workaholic as well.
True. And it's not good. It's not good for the people around us, but it is what it is, and we love it. So
don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. Non-stop grind. Like, but this is what I love. So
yeah, exactly, man. I mean, we want to build more, and this is the kind of person we are.
Yeah.
And a lot of our friends are like that, by the way. We just want more.
Yeah.
You know, we want to build more, and we want to build more. And my vision is, honestly, at first I thought, yeah, I'm just gonna retire by 50. And I'm gonna buy myself an island and whatnot. You know what I mean? No, I just want to keep working. Honestly, I don't want to quit.
Nice.
I really do not want to quit.
Awesome. And what's your favorite meal creation? Or let me rephrase it. So what's your favorite meal that you create for yourself? And what's the meal that probably get a lot of praise
Dude, so many. Uh, I think the favorite meal that I do for myself and my family. Oh man, there's so many. It's probably a salmon meal.
Okay.
My family loves salmon, sweet potato, some vegetables on the side. But I do a crusted salmon, so it's really cool. It's crusted. It's almond crusted salmon, and it's just delicious. The other things that I do are a lot of my bakeries. The stuff that bakery items that I do. So the brownies are a big hit at Super Meals. Literally, when two things: when people see brownies on the menu, or when they see banana bread on the menu, they go nuts. Like literally, that's the order for the day. Like that's their snack order for the day.
Time out, because I'm actually also on Super Meals,
Yes,
right?
you are.
Your pancakes.
Oh, and the pancakes too. Yeah, absolutely.
Your pancake, man. Like whenever I'm on the app and I see the options for choosing pancakes, I'm like always every morning pancake.
Yeah, the pancakes too, man. The pancakes,
super.
Honestly, there's so many different, like the chili con carne from the mains, the salmon from the mains, the lemon butter fish. There's so many different ones that are actually very, very popular with a lot of our clients. And by the way, did you hear what I just said? Lemon butter?
Yeah.
Fish.
Yeah.
I actually use butter because butter is healthy, and
Yeah.
people don't know that. People think butter is bad, but butter is actually, it depends on how much you use of it, of course, but butter is healthy.
Nice.
Just to let you know.
Nice. So, your favorite is salmon.
Oh, I love salmon. Yeah.
We're not friends, man. I don't like salmon. I don't like salmon. And the thing is, I know I need to have salmon in my diet. Like it's something that it has to be there.
Dude, can I just tell you a real quick story?
Yeah.
I have one of my best friends, and she hates salmon too. She hates it. Okay, but she always eats my food.
Yeah.
Like whenever she always has hands in my plate. And then and then one time I was drinking a juice, and it was like some cocktail, and it was orange in color or whatever. And she's like, "What is that?" I was like, "That's salmon juice. Don't stay away."
Yeah, man, it's crazy. The thing is, I don't know. Like I have something against fish in general, or like seafood in general. Although I'm Egyptian, and Egyptian are known for their seafood. But for some reason, no, I'm not into seafood at all. Salmon, fish, like I can eat shrimps. I'm okay with shrimps, but
Interesting.
yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
But yeah. So what would you advise?
What is your favorite meal?
From Super Meals
Yeah.
or in general?
Both.
Look, so from Super Meals, definitely. Whenever I open the app and I see the pancakes, I go crazy.
That's for breakfast.
So
main meal.
that's for breakfast. For the main meals, man, it's there's a lot. There's a lot. Like honestly, and I'm not saying this because we're sitting in front of each other and everything, but it's a lot. I remember there was this day. Even I was messaging you. I was like asking you also for advice. You had the mac and cheese and
Nuggets.
It had nuggets? No, it had beef.
Oh, okay. The beef mac and cheese.
Yeah, the beef mac and cheese. You had the lasagna.
That's also one of the favorites of people
Yes.
as well, and my favorite. As well.
And there was something else, a third option, and I only had two to choose. And I was like going crazy.
I remember you sent me a message that day.
Yes,
you
I was
said
like,
"Oh,
man."
I want more.
But yeah, the mac and cheese, the beef mac and cheese was amazing. The lasagna was super. Pancakes. I go with the pancakes.
I have a good problem.
Yeah.
It really is a good problem. Because we have over 2,200 recipes.
Yeah.
That we circulate, and we have. Look, you will eat something today, and you will eat it again 7 weeks from now.
Yeah.
7 weeks.
Yeah.
That's almost 2 months, right? And so I have a lot of clients who send me a message saying, "Hey man, when is the chili con carne coming back? Hey man, when is the lasagna coming back? Hey man, when is?" I swear to God, it's hilarious. It's hilarious. We need this more. Where's the sloppy Joe? Where's this? Where's that? You know? So it's really cool.
Yeah, yeah. Sloppy Joe actually was quite good.
Of course it is.
What else? I'm just trying to remember. There were a few that were quite hit the mark on those days. But in general, no, the food is amazing. Food is amazing. It tastes really good. And definitely it's like for anyone who's looking to eat clean, that's really good option.
Alhamdulillah. Thank you, man.
Cool. So what would you advise someone who's kind of going through the same journey that you went through 10 years ago? not in opening a F&B business, but in generally like deciding, you know what, I want to be an entrepreneur, especially like these days in our regions. Like you see now, Shark Tank. There's a Shark Tank brand now in Egypt. There's another one now in Dubai. It gives a lot of motivation for people to, you know what, maybe we can decide to have our own businesses. We have our own ideas and start on it. So, what would your top advice be for someone who wants to start their own thing?
Listen, starting your own business is very exciting, very, very exciting. It's about calculated risk. It really is. It's not about anything else. It's about your, first of all, actually, I would say the first thing that you have to have for opening a business is the passion for it. If you're not passionate enough to open a certain business, don't do it. Honestly, don't do it. If you're doing it because, hey, this is a good idea, that's a trend today, so let's do it, you'll probably fail. If you're not passionate enough to put your blood, sweat, and time into it, it'll probably be nothing. That's number one. Number two, if you're gonna open a business, this is my advice. This is what I would do again if I had to go through it again. Literally give it all your all. Don't do it on the side with something else. Don't have a 9 to 6 job and then go check on your own business at 6 o'clock. You're drained. You won't be able to focus. You're probably giving it to someone that someone doesn't have any shares in it or
any passion for it. Yep.
Exactly. So don't do that. Give it your all if you can. And the third thing that I would say is you have to calculate your risk very, very well, because it's not easy for someone. I came from a very good paying job, very, very good pay. I was very high up in the corporate ladder the last couple of years. I was making amazing money, doing everything that I wanted to do, traveling, buying whatever I want, doing this. I was very comfortable. Once I started my own business, I realized that, oh no, wait, I have to be hungry now. Hungry is a very big thing in my ethos, in my life. I have to always stay hungry, because if you're not hungry, you don't know how happy you are when you have a meal. If you're not hungry, you don't know how happy you are when you have money. If you're not hungry, you don't know how happy you are when you succeed. If you're hungry all the time, then you're always searching for that high. You're always searching for that success. And you have to stay hungry. Calculated risk, but you have to stay hungry. When I say calculated risk, I mean, when I started this, I had to put some money on the side for my daughter, just in case I fail. And I almost got there. Literally, like 2-3 years down the line, I almost got there. I almost failed. And then you have to make sure that you're taken care of. Now, if I fail today, God forbid, kafal ashar, it will be very, very difficult for me. Why? Because I can't go back to marketing and advertising. It's a completely different game now. 10 years down the line, 2 years into the business, 3 years, maybe even pushing it. You'll still be able to pick up a phone call and say, hey, do you have a job for me? Now I can't. This is my life. If anything happens to Super Meals, I will actually open another business and another business and another business. The entrepreneurial life, man, it's a drug. It's a drug. It is such an incredible high, because once you start feeling, hey, I made this, it's mine. You know what I mean? And kind of thing. But actually, there's such a gratification to the fact that when you see something that you've created from nothing succeed, and people are praising it, and people are happy with it, and people are saying, thank you for helping us. There's nothing like it, man.
True. Absolutely. And on a closing note, because we're running out of time, what would you, if you're okay to share something here on the podcast, what would you planning?
Putting me on the spot. If you're okay to share it, you
have to share it. That's the trick. So, what's your upcoming venture with Super Meals?
I'm not okay to share that.
Okay.
I follow a different school of thought altogether. I just like to do my things in the dark and then
announce it when it's ready.
Announce it when it's ready.
Cool.
But yes, there are a couple of things that is in the pipeline, and inshallah, if God wills, it will come to fruition in the next 3 to 4 months.
Okay,
Inshallah.
cool. So we will hear some new news in 2024.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Inshallah, there's actually a whole bunch of things, and there's Super Meals, and there's me personally. I want to keep helping people eat right. And Super Meals is one way to do it, and there's so many different other ways, because a lot of people say, I miss this and I miss that, and I miss the cheeseburgers, and I miss the pizzas, and I miss the sandwiches, and I miss this. And that's one thing that I'm trying to look into, how to make these things healthy.
Okay, cool, awesome. Well, thanks again for coming today. It's been a pleasure having you on this
awesome.
podcast.
This was so much fun.
Awesome, and it's a huge world. I believe that the F&B world and what you have built and what you have created in the past 10 years, there's a lot to it. I think we only touched or just scratched the surface.
Oh, 100%.
But definitely it was enjoyable to have you here and have this conversation.
I had a blast, I swear.
We have to do it again.
100%.
Cool.
Ready, wallah.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much.
Thanks, bro.
Take care.
Take care.